Hey, how's it going? This is Crypto Introvert, and today I want to talk about retail banks and what Crypto.com offers in terms of a like for like comparison between the two. So, starting off with retail banks, the obvious thing is you can put money in your bank and you can save money and you can earn interest in, say, a savings account or um, some of the more complicated products. But let's stick with savings account. At the moment in the UK, I'm with NatWest and I get a 0.01% interest rate per annum gross. And this is contrasted to what Crypto.com offers for stablecoins. So in my case, pound sterling. So the stablecoin that Crypto.com has is the true GBP. And that has up to 12% interest rate based on a simple interest rate per annum. So 0.01% interest rate versus 12%. That is massive, massive difference. Now, we can think of it in a few ways. We can think of it that retail banks are not really giving customers much value by offering such tiny interest rate. It's barely enough to take account of annual inflation. So essentially, even though you're saving, the real term value of your money or spending power, in fact, does not improve. So why put money in a bank when there's Crypto.com? That's what I've been pondering. And why not put the equivalent stablecoin, rather than have it in your bank account, put it in Crypto.com's earn functionality and get up to 12% on your fiat currency when transferred into equivalent one-to-one stable coin currency. So, for instance, in the US, you'd have Tether USDT or USDC or even TUSD, True USD. There are a few variations of stable coins that are roughly one-to-one in terms of being pegged to their respective fiat currency. So that's what I started doing. I think Crypto.com, of course, there's a bit more risk compared to banks in terms of retail banks having that regulation and that reputation over decades of time. Crypto.com is a newish company, so the high interest rate reflects a bit of the risk, but at the same time, because it's a new company and it's growing with volume and it wants to grow with more volume, in my opinion, the rates are a bit more favorable for that reason. But nevertheless, why keep your money in a bank when you're earning 0.01% when you can earn up to 12%? It's just a no-brainer. So, have a think. If you've got money just sitting in the bank, it's better just to convert it into stable coins and put it in the earn functionality on Crypto.com and get a better interest rate. Have a little think, because 12% is very good. It's the market is, when we look at traditional markets, a market return per annum about 10% is considered good. And if you're getting 12% in stable coins and not investing in a risky share or a stock market, then I think that is an obvious decision. But obviously, you have to do your own due diligence and own research and come to your conclusion whether you think that putting or buying stablecoins and earning interest on Crypto.com's platform is risk-free enough for you. So, does that mean retail banks have been just taking the mickey out of customers for so long by not offering enough value? Probably, because retail banks, they make money from transaction fees, inter-exchange rates, and by lending at a higher rate than they are paying interest, and also they do invest in bonds as well. So banks do make money. That's the name of the game. Otherwise, they would not be operational. So why have they not offered customers more value? So in Crypto.com's case, by by putting money or even cryptocurrencies or stable coins rather into their own functionality for say 1 month or 3 months, they have their own investment strategies with what they do with the funds, so they can be utilizing the funds provided and gain more money in a similar way that a bank would gain money from putting the cash into bonds. So Crypto.com could be putting it into trading strategies or algorithmic trading. Who knows? I'm just speculating, but in order for them to pay interest, they have to be making more money, or at least equal to the amount that you put in to save. The other thing is interest rates, central bank interest rates. So retail banks borrow, or they the supply of money comes from central banks to the retail banks. So for instance, in the US you have the Fed, in the UK you have the Bank of England, and in Europe you have ECB. And recently, due to Corona situation, interest rate has been reducing, which further erodes the interest rate that customers get in retail banks, if retail banks pass it all on to the customer. And if we get into negative interest rates, there are some cases in some countries and with certain customers where you're actually getting charged to save money in the bank. So that's the central bank's way in order to try and get consumer spending up, to discourage you from saving and to get you to spend it more. So that is what you have to think about at the moment with how it's applicable to the corona crisis, how interest rate is reducing. And the rates we see in the crypto world and stablecoin is just a lot more favorable. So have a little think on whether it is worth having your money sitting in your bank account and gaining tiny interest rate when you could put it into stablecoins and earn a lot more at a very 12% may seem very good in terms of interest against what we have in traditional markets, but crypto markets are a new different animal. It's we've been so used to the traditional markets, the standard model of traditional markets, that what we see in cryptos is just a different dimension. And in that sense 12% isn't actually that much. It's just in terms of our reality and what we've been so used to over the years, it seems like very significant, but everything is relative, so have a consider of that. So I think that's the main thing I wanted to talk about in terms of what retail banks offer and what Crypto.com offers. And obviously that's just in terms of savings. Crypto.com has many other features that offer a lot of value, including the rebates, Spotify rebates, Netflix rebates, Airbnb depending on the card level, and also staking interest as well, rewarding more, basically offering value to customers that normal banks just don't do, that they're rubbish at doing, that they get away with the minimum. If you think about all the perks that Crypto.com offers and compare it with a traditional bank, it's different.